Mrs Porter Calling by AJ Pearce. Read by Anna Popplewell. For My Brother. London, April 1943. Chapter 1. Happy Birthday, Emmy Lake. Margaret and I had been tap dancing in the garden for nearly 20 minutes, and I was beginning to feel the strain. It was a Sunday afternoon in April, and we were celebrating my 25th birthday. On current performance, I was beginning to show my age. "Keep going, Emmy! Tap, step, ball change!" bellowed Marg, showing admirable focus for an 11-year-old. "Mr Collins, are you watching? I'm being Rita Hayworth and Emmy is Fred Astaire." With the sun shining as if no one in the world had a care, spring had turned into summer for the event, and I was enjoying my first day off for weeks. At the house my best friend Bunty and I shared in Pimlico, it was so warm that our small party had decamped into the garden, happy to have an excuse to be outside. Now our friend Thelma's daughter was putting me through my paces. "Well done," I panted, as Guy Collins clapped loudly, and Margaret hoofed even faster. She was not what one might call a natural dancer, but since we'd been to see You Were Never Lovelier at the Odeon Cinema, she had shown the most enormous commitment, and as far as I was concerned, that beat talent every time. "Excellent work," confirmed Guy from the wooden picnic table where he was playing a game of chess with Margaret's big brother George. "Although, do you think you may be making yourself perhaps the tiniest bit pink?" Margaret was an incandescent shade of red. "It is warm for this time of year," said George politely, moving his knight. He was nearly 13 and prone to becoming a grown-up in the presence of adults, particularly those he admired. "Do you know, sir, I think that's checkmate." "Again?" laughed Bunty, knowing full well that Guy was a dab hand at the game. "Good Lord," said my brother-in-law, taking defeat well, particularly as he had only taught George to play the week before last. "Well done, old man. And once again, there's really no need to say sir." Stanley, Thelma's youngest child, joined in. "Actually," he said, leaning conspiratorially over Guy's shoulder, "I think Marg's dancing is rubbish. She sounds like a herd of elephants." "Who's she? The cat's mother?" said Thel mildly. "Come on, Stan. Everyone has to start somewhere. And remember, we're being doubly nice as it's Emmy's birthday." Stan nodded and looked thoughtful. He was only 9, and an honest lad, which was supposed to be a good thing, so he was always baffled when he got told off about it. "You are having a nice time, aren't you, Auntie Emmy?" he asked. "I certainly am, Stan," I said, giving up being Mr. Astaire and collapsing into a deck chair. "Although I think I might need a rest now." "And do you like your presents?" asked Stan, who had given me a still slightly sticky balsa wood model of a Lancaster bomber that he had made himself. "They're all lovely," I said, "especially the Lancaster. I'm going to get some thread and hang it from the ceiling in the kitchen so everyone who visits will see it." Stanley looked chuffed, and I thought what a smashing day it had been all round. Usually there was hardly any time to draw breath, let alone loll about, so today had been a real treat. I'd had lots of cards through the post, and phone calls from my parents and my friend Anne. She and her 2 small children had crammed into a telephone box to sing happy birthday and shriek excitable best wishes until their money ran out. My friend Kath had sent a cable-knit bolero that fitted like a glove, and then Guy had arrived with a large bunch of early tulips and shop-bought chocolate bread pudding, which must have taken up all of his coupons. Bunty had made me the most beautiful crocheted purse in my favourite shade of blue, and to cap it all, Thelma and the children arrived with an airgraph that had been sent to her so that she could give it to me on the right day. It wasn't any old airgraph either. It was from my husband, Charles. It still felt funny calling him that. Even though we had been married nearly 16 months, we had spent only 3 days of it together before he had joined his unit in the army and headed away overseas.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?